Hi, ich bin Melchior von Kontist. I'm CXO at Kontist. This means that I'm Chief Tax Officer. This is I would say I'm the guy between the tax guy and the technical guy. So I think if whenever you want to found a tech company, so a technology in taxes, you will need always the techie and always the more legal part. And I'm the guy between who's able to speak both languages to translate for the others that they understand what they are working on.
Nice. Yeah, hi, I'm Patrick. I'm the founder and CEO of NFT Maker, or NMKR rather. We recently had our rebranding. I'm also kind of like Melchior, the guy in the middle between the tech. I studied computer science and everyone else in a way. So yeah, that's my role. And yeah, maybe you can start with the questions.
Yeah, to be honest, on a lot of conferences and I have a lot of discussions about a super boring topic, but in general, always about finances, accounting, and taxes. And this is super boring, but everybody has to do this and has to take care about it. And what we're doing, we're connecting or we're building based on a bank account, so on financial transactions, we're doing our accounting. Most companies not doing this, but for accounting, you need always two parts. It's a payment and it's an invoice. In Germany, we always say keine Buchung ohne Beleg, so it's not impossible to do your accounting without this invoice, receipt, whatever. And especially when the hype around NFT started, I always thought an invoice is exactly the same thing. Whole accounting and transferring invoices from A to B. This is so people are investing so much effort for keeping the original data in one place, but they are printing it, sending it via post somewhere. Someone else is scanning it, typing exactly what someone else put in somewhere else in the computer before. And I always thought, okay, this should be an interesting use case for blockchain. And really, in the beginning, I thought, okay, this is I don't know, transactions, cryptocurrencies, but with the whole NFT topic, I thought, is it possible to build an NFT or a system where every invoice is an NFT that it's easier to follow and you just give access to the information down the line because you need one original invoice, but if the customer is just getting the access, then all information are there and you don't have to send physically some invoices around the world.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I think so. So I think there are two things here. So the first one is if the transaction to purchase something like some item or some whatever is done through the blockchain, it kind of is like an invoice already. You just have to attach some more data to the actual transaction, right? And then it's also stored on the blockchain publicly, and you can just scan the blockchain in a way, and you automatically can generate all the invoices. The second thing is if you just think about a regular transfer, like you go to, I don't know, some supermarket and you buy with your regular credit card and you want to store the invoice at a central place, then there is the problem that you kind of have the privacy issue with the blockchain because everything is public. You can't just store all the invoice data on the blockchain because that's a huge privacy violation, in my opinion. But what you could do is you could store the proof that this invoice is actually real on the blockchain, which also solves quite a few problems, in my opinion, because essentially you can always exactly tell everyone, okay, this is a real invoice. This was really generated by supermarket, Aldi, or whatever, and then they just can cryptographically prove the authenticity of this invoice in a way. And there's no faking invoices anymore.
I think especially the transparency part, this is, in my opinion, super attractive because if you're saying now, for example, Rewe or Aldi, but if they would work on this as well, I'm always thinking about, we have two parties always. One party is creating invoice, the other is receiving an invoice. And at Aldi, if you're buying something, there are already all invoices about all the items, about everything is already existing. So how it's the smoothest way to transfer all the information. It's about which items, it's about the category, it's about maybe the text categories, it's about the VAT and all this stuff. So a lot of informations are already on the Aldi side, but I need them somehow on the side from the customer. And of course, I think the yeah something like the proof that this is an original, it's interesting. But how would you think, or how would you start if you would think about, okay, I just want to transfer the data, I don't want to have this receipt stuff, I would just want directly the data. Is this possible somehow, or is it always that I have the problem that it's too public, or can I split it somehow up? Because the items themselves, this is not a secret. The secret is that I brought these items.
I think it's an interesting problem actually, because like the question is with what do you pay, kind of, because if you pay with euro, like cash, then there's no real use to putting the invoice on the blockchain, because essentially you pay with euro and no one can associate if this invoice is truly yours or not. And you could just go and say, okay, this invoice is mine, even though it wasn't mine, just to get some tax deductions or something like that. But if you pay with the cryptocurrency itself, I think it becomes really interesting, because then you basically send a transaction automatically from your phone or something to Aldi, and Aldi generates the invoice, doesn't print it anymore, but just sends it back to you on the blockchain. And then you just have all the invoices kind of on your chain, on your wallet. You don't even necessarily need to have NFTs for that, but they could be used, because then you can easily transfer them and just send all the invoices to the tax thing. I forgot the English word for it, but yeah. So that's how it could work.
Yeah, because down the line is just, I think it's we naming this always cross company flow. Because what is accounting? Accounting is mainly documenting what's happening between different companies and people. This is the only thing what's accounting is doing, and this is, to be honest, not such a secret. If I'm going to Adobe Creative Cloud, it's really obvious what I'm buying there. This is not a secret, and I don't have any problems to share this with the world, because there is just one thing I can buy there. The only thing is, for the invoice there are so many informations needed, like the date of execution, the date of the payment terms, and uh, address for both parties, is the VAT ID number, and so on and so on and so on. There is so much stuff, what in so many informations, and at the moment they're just going through the world on a paper, and I'm always thinking, what, this is stupid, this is really stupid, especially if we have something where we can have a smooth flow. Because what one party is putting and creating on the one side, it's needed on the other side. And the only thing, or the common thing at the moment, what we're doing is printing it, transferring it somewhere, and someone else is on the other side just typing it into the computer. And then we are super fancy and innovative when we're using something like OCR tools and so on, that computer is reading this paper. And I'm thinking, why? The data were already available in the beginning, but there is cut it in the middle. And down the line, it would save a lot of time and resources on both sides if we would have this flow. And I'm always thinking, is this possible somehow to build on a blockchain? Of course, I understand your point that, of course, it will be way easier when it just is paid in I don't know, Ethereum. Of course, then it's maybe easier. But could be just the information and data somehow manageable as well, because this is what we have at the moment as well. We have the bank account, the bank statement with a lot of information, and the invoice, and they are separated. And this is something we're doing, for example, that we're putting this together and saying, okay, we have one transaction and always is received to always invoices at this. So the only thing we're doing is we're just adding the informations which were needed for doing the accounting. And down the line, we're creating the accounting based on the bank account. But this is already really uncommon. But I thought the next step would be then blockchain, that everybody has access in real time on the same data. Then you don't have to send anything around.
Yeah, I think it would work, especially if you what you can do right now is essentially create KYC, but for businesses to a wallet. So basically, you do KYB, it's called, know your business, and then you verify, okay, I am Aldi, for example, and you put that, attach it to your wallet, and then everyone knows, okay, this wallet is a legit Aldi wallet, and then they can put all the invoices on the chain. They can either put them in clear text, or they can put it as hashes just to verify them on the chain. And then the only issue is, okay, who is the actual buyer? Because that's, like you mentioned, we need both sides, the buyer and the company selling something. And it's very easy if the buyer uses cryptocurrencies, so we should push for that. It's not so easy if the buyer is not using cryptocurrencies. Then you kind of have to have the real world involved in some sort of way. You have to print them something to know, okay, this exact transaction, for example, is your invoice, and you can, I don't know, go online, go to this website and check it and see it on the chain. Then that would work.
Yeah, but even this would be super helpful. I mean, this is something, if I have, for example, at the moment you're saying, okay, this is my Aldi is a really bad example for accounting, but if I would have one I don't know, app from Aldi, and I can say, okay, this and this and this, and I'm paying with my phone, with Apple Pay, I don't know what, but it's stored there because it's just accessible there. And if I want to use this, I'm getting this as well, because I'm getting this somehow in a separate way as well. And then in theory it can be public, what all customer bought at Aldi, for example. But I really know I bought these I don't know transactions were my transaction, and they are relevant for my accounting stuff, and I just put them into my account.
Okay, can I ask you something then? I want to know from you the most basic thing. Like, what do you from your perspective think NFTs are?
I think it's for me something where you have one original. It's okay, based on a blockchain, something where you know, okay, this is the original. This is the I would say the real document, that you really know, okay, this is yours. This is not like yeah, money. What you just it doesn't matter which 20 euro you have. It's 20 euro. It's like yeah, like a coin somehow, a 20-euro coin. But yeah, but having the original is sometimes really important. And this is what I thought about invoices, but of course this is about art, this is about music as well, and so on. But yeah, this is the example I always heard. It's about art, it's about pictures, and so on. This is this thing you can read everywhere. But to be honest, I'm always thinking, going through the woods and thinking every leaf is individual, everything is unique, but I'm not willing to pay just a single cent for one of these leaves. They are just there, and there are billions and trillions, and I don't know how many, in theory, paintings and art. I'm not interested in just spending a single cent on them. So just the yeah, just the character that this is unique, it doesn't make anything out of it for me, for my opinion. And that's the reason why I thought, okay, uh, we need something where it's really interesting. I mean, just right now we have in Texas as well, we have this Grundsteuer reform at the moment, that every owner of a real estate, they have to put in now data to the Finanzamt Center. And I think, okay, that you are owner of real estate, this is just unique. This is at the moment stored at the, I don't know where, but for the government somewhere, and there it's stored that you are the owner, the Grundbuch. And this, for example, this should be, I think this is a really ideal case for NFT.